Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's makeup tutorial is my recreation of the makeup look I wore in the KVD True Portrait Foundation wear test. When I tell you I have never had this many requests for a makeup video, you better believe me. I'm so surprised you liked that makeup look. I just put a couple of colours together and I hoped for the best, and it turned out to be a nice makeup look, but for it to receive so much love I just did not expect it. Anyway, as requested, today I will be recreating this look right here, so if you would like to see how I created that look, then just keep on watching. So as mentioned, I did wear this makeup during my KVD True Portrait Foundation wear test, and since that's the foundation I used in that video, I might as well show you how I like to use it. Because I didn't give the best review for this foundation, it's okay if you're vegan and you need a vegan foundation, it's absolutely fine. If you want to support KVD, go for it. It's not a bad foundation, it's just not my favourite. I do use it and I have found a way to wear this. You need to shake it really well because it's a matte foundation. It has like this powder formula. I squeeze it out about that much. It's like a pump and a half maybe. Well, more like a solid pump. I apply this with my wet sponge, so I'm gonna pick my foundation up and I use the swiping technique for most of my face anyway, and then I tap in the most red areas, so around my nostrils. It gives you more coverage that way, so I want a very sheer coverage from this today. That's how I like to wear this foundation, because even when it does wear off throughout the day, it's not as noticeable. However, this isn't the best coverage and I do want to hide my acne a little bit more, and for that I use one of my absolute favourites. This is the Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer, and I quite literally just smear it on mostly my jaw. Just gonna add a little bit more coverage around my nostril, and I have this beautiful spot right here. And since I'm already here, I'm also going to conceal with this and prime. Honestly, this is like one of the easiest makeup looks you'll ever do. It takes like 20 minutes, I want to say. That concealer just does the job. It's so good. I cannot wait for the foundation version of this concealer to come out, and yes, it will be coming. I watched a live from Revolution where Adam, the owner of Revolution, confirmed that the Conceal and Define Infinite Foundation is coming, so I'm excited. But I'm even more excited about bronzing my face. As you know, I love this step, and to do that I'm going to take my favourite Revolution Fast Base Foundation in F14. This base just gives me life. Look at it, admire it, looks so good. The only area of my face that I do want to powder just a little bit is my under eye, because I have very deep creases under there and it's going to crease eventually. And because I'm going to move onto eyeshadow pretty soon, if there is any fallout, which I highly doubt, but if there is any, I want that powder to prevent it from sticking onto my base. So I'm taking a little bit of RCMA No Colour Powder and I'm setting my under eye. 3 more steps before we move on to the eyes. First, it's going to be my highlighter. I've been obsessed with the Rose Gold Glow from At Heart Revolution. again. It just comes in waves, but it looks so good. For my blush today, I'm going to be using the palette that I'm using on my eyes. It is the Be Perfect Carnival palette with Stacey Marie, the very first one. I did get the third installment. You probably would have seen it. If not, it's coming, it's on the way. Anyway, for my blush, I'm taking Foolish, the neon-y pink. Right there, you can see how much I like it, and I will be using it on my eyes today as well. And I'm mixing it with Keen, the yellow. And I'm blushing my cheeks. I added a lot of blush, but I'm fine with that. And finally, before the eyes, I'm gonna do my brows. For my brows, I'm starting off with Revolution Brow Soap, and I can't even say I have a dent in it. This is like pretty much gone. Another one is on the way, but by the time it gets here, I'm probably gonna finish it. This gives me the fluffiest brows I have ever had. I just want a little bit more of definition on the tail of my brow, so I'm taking my pomade and I'm adding individual hair strokes just to define them a little bit more. The brows are a little bit meh today, but it's fine. It's all about the eyeshadow, so let's get into it. As mentioned, I will be using the Be Perfect Carnival palette, the very first one, and unfortunately, I'm sorry, there will be another palette, and it is the Green Neon Obsessions from Huda Beauty. I'm going to start off with my inner third of my eye, and I'm taking Foolish, that peachy pink, and you know what, I'm taking a little bit of Keen as well. And I just realised I even used a third palette. I had a look at the picture again. You know, when I don't do videos, I don't think about the palettes that I use. I just lay everything out and I play with it. Anyway, I'll tell you all about it once we get to it. I'm taking that Foolish Keen concoction and I'm starting by placing this in the inner third of my crease, and I'm going to start to blend this up towards my brow. If I ever create a palette, this is the shade that's going in there. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to move on to the outer corner of my eye, the outer third, and I'm picking up Basic. It's like a very light terracotta brown, and I'm starting from my lash line and I'm going out and up towards the tail of my brow, just making small like dab and pull motions, just like that. And when I'm about as close as a 1/4 of an inch close to my brow, I'm going to stop because I want room to blend. I'm just going to do the same on the other side. And now it's time just to blend the very edge of Basic. You want it to be close to your brow, the blend, not the actual eyeshadow, but leave a tiny little gap for the highlight. Time to smoke it a little bit more. I'm taking Rowdy, the darker brown in the palette, and I'm pretty much repeating the step, but I'm just not pulling it out as much. So I'm stopping about halfway out and I'm gonna blend it in immediately. Okay, and now the remaining middle portion. Everyone was like in love with the shade, and it's very simple. I took the Green Neon's Obsessions from Huda Beauty and I took I dropped my Neon's Obsessions and one of the eyeshadow has crumbled, but it's fine. Everyone was literally obsessed with that shade on Instagram, and it's quite simple. It is the Green Neons Obsessions from Huda Beauty, and precisely it is that yellowy citrus kind of shade. I took it on my finger and I placed it in the middle. I stopped quite close to my brow, but not quite on my brow. I then took a flat brush, or a flat-ish brush, and I took the matte citrus shade because this lime golden goodness wasn't green enough for me. So I applied a little bit of that green on there. And then I used this brush to kind of buff out the edges at the top. But then I was like, oh, I lost the sparkle. Well, let's bring the sparkle back. I took a little bit more of that shimmery shade. I love this greenish, limeish shade. It looks so good on the eyes. Seriously, I pretty much never use any other shade in this palette apart from these two. I would buy this palette for the two shades right there. You can see how much of a dent I've got in that citrus. It's so good. Time to blend this in a little bit. I'm going back to my Carnival palette and I'm taking Basic, only to very gently blend this green with that brown on the outer third. Just very gently, not too much, just so there's no like harsh lines. Clean my brush off again so I can pick up Foolish and Keen again and blend that green in at the front. Again, this is a standout, so I'm blending it very gently, not too much. I don't want to take away too much of that green. However, I did also add Funky, the very pink neon shade. I'm taking it on my brush and I'm placing it on my mobile lid on the inner portion of my eye. So like I darkened the outer corner here with Rowdy, I want to darken this pink with Funky. For that beautiful pop of inner corner highlight, I took Pink Me. This is like a nice pinky duochrome. I took it on a small flat brush and I did foil it. That's why it's so intense. I'm also highlighting my brown bone with this. After reviewing the picture that I posted, I realized that I did add a little bit more of dimension and depth on the outer corner, and I did add black. You are welcome to use whatever palette you want. You don't even have to add the black if you don't want to. I'm going to dip into the Alyssa Edwards Anastasia Beverly Hills palette and I'm taking Beast, and as you can imagine, I'm deepening the very outside corner. I'm pretty much starting from my lash line and doing a dab and pull motion to smoke out the mobile lid. For my lower lash line, I mimicked what I had on the top, so I'm taking all the individual shades and mirroring them on the lower lash line. Star of the show, the Neon Obsessions, the green one, and I'm putting that shimmery green in the center. Okay, to finish off the eyes, I'm applying a little bit of mascara and I'm adding some falsies. For the lips today, I'm using my favorite combo. I'm outlining my lips with my favorite lip liner, Barry M. This is like a light brown nudie shade. And to fill in my lips, I'm using MAC Cosmetics lipstick in Flesh Pot. Okay you guys, so here it is. This is my recreation of the look I wore in my KVD True Portrait foundation wear test. It was inspired by Zmalowana's new palette collaboration with Wibo PL. It's quite a neon meets natural makeup look. I hope you recreate it. I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you so much for leaving all the comments requesting this look. If you have any video requests like makeup tutorials that you want to see, products that you want to see reviewed, foundation that you want to see war tested, leave your comments down below because I read every single one, or at least I try to, and I try to reply to every single one. It makes me so happy to interact with you guys in the comments, so leave a comment down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You are the best, and I hope to see you next time.